this now.
Thank you, Mike.
Hi, this is John Krasinski of Pittsburgh Soccer Now. Pittsburgh on Pittsburgh Sports Live here. With me is Sarah, somebody we in Pittsburgh know pretty well, Sarah Chapanski. Sarah, first of all, congratulations. The University of Pittsburgh women's soccer team, first time ever, has been selected to an at-large bid to play in the NCAA tournament. What's the emotion? What are you feeling right now?
Pure excitement. I mean, the whole team and everybody on staff is just ecstatic that we get this opportunity. We've been working towards it for so long and we've been working so hard. And just to be able to accomplish it as a team and have everybody here today to watch it finally happen is just a dream come true.
Yeah, I was watching some of the video. You got everybody packed into that room. What was going on in that room?
Well, initially we couldn't get the sound to work on the video, so we were all super stressed and we just saw Florida State and then FGCU come up and we were just waiting for the sound and we weren't expecting to be in that first quadrant. So when our name was called, we just all jumped out of our seats and we're super excited. We saw ourselves on the video and we were like, no way, this is amazing. And we play Buffalo and they're a solid opponent and we haven't played them before. So we got to get to work on the scout for sure. But I'm excited to finally get to start on this tournament Saturday night.
For sure. I believe you may have committed like in your sophomore or junior year, somewhere. It was earlier, right?
Yes,
If
I
I
committed
remember
my
correctly.
freshman year.
Yeah, it was early. I remember that. And, when that happened, when you committed, I mean, eh, conversations with Randy, I'm sure that the opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament was something you dreamed about or you wanted to do. But maybe just, is that something, I mean, just take me through that, process. Is that something that as a college soccer player, that's what you strive to do, right? That's what you want.
Yeah. So like you said, I was a freshman. My family and I really knew nothing about the whole recruiting process, how it worked, how to talk to coaches, nothing like that. And I talked to a few coaches and then when Randy called, he was not even he didn't even coach a season yet at Pitt when I first talked to him. And he just called and from the first time we spoke, I just knew that he was the type of coach I wanted to play for. And the program was not at the level of some of the other programs out there. And I knew that. But Randy had goals and accomplishments for this program that he talked about. And I trusted him completely. And the players that he brought in 2019 and 2020 set the stage for my 2021 class to come in, and we've done nothing but just build on each other and work together to accomplish those goals, Randy said. And like you said, everybody always wants to play for those super big programs with huge histories, but it's even more special to be able to create history too. In high school, that's what I did with my North Allegheny team, and the fact that I get to do it again with this team is something that's really special to me.
Absolutely. And, you talk about 2020, it didn't come without challenges, right? 2021, lots of challenges there. But then 2022, you guys lose Amanda West early in the season, and that was really the true test, right? To find is this program gotten to that point where that there's enough depth, there's enough quality that you could rise to the occasion, even without someone who's been really carrying the program in terms of goals scored. And I know you stepped up and Ellie and the local players we know, but it's been a tremendous group effort, hasn't it?
Yes. We've had Chloe Minas, Amanda West, Ashley Moon all out with season-ending injuries, and it's been very tough for them and for us. We've done our best to be there for them, but they've done nothing but support us and be there for us every single game. They're there. If they can travel, they do. And they really want nothing but success for us, and we're helping them to get back as quick as possible. But it's definitely been a test. I'm sure with any team, losing 3 key players is going to be a test, but the coaching staff had complete faith in the rest of us, and we've adjusted positionally and just adjusted to every single setback and worked our way through. And like you said, we've done incredible things this season. And I just know when those players get back, we can keep doing that too.
But right now, the 2022 season, last couple years, especially 2021, you were really close. You had two 12-win seasons. What was the difference? I know that the ACC success this year obviously was the difference in beating some of those teams you hadn't beaten before in the ACC. But what was the difference? Where did you get from being so close to getting to this point now where you're a 4 seed in the region that you're in?
I remember the exact day last year. I sat in the same seat next to the same people, and we were just sitting there waiting to hear our name. We were just hoping that the committee would give us the chance, and we watched the whole selection show, and unfortunately our name wasn't called. But this year it was set in stone that we were going to be in the tournament, and we were just waiting to see who we were going to play. And that was a whole different feeling, and it was a much less stressful feeling and more excitement. But like you said, there was just a difference this season than past seasons, and it might have been from having to overcome so much and just persevering. And I think a lot came from just wanting to prove people wrong. We wanted to show everyone that Pitt's a program that can do great things, and I hope to be able to continue to do that in this national tournament.
And how has the out of conference schedule and just playing in the ACC prepare you for a tournament like this? You've played a lot of high level tournaments throughout your youth career and into high school. That we know how tough the WPIL and the PIAA can be too. You've been there, you've experienced a lot of those things, but now you're in the NCAA tournament. But you've played against North Carolina, you've played against Florida State, you played against Duke. You know what those teams are like. Just talk about this experience and how ready this team is for that.
Yeah, so our coaches do a great job with our out of conference schedule. They do their best to make sure our RPI stays high in that out of conference part of the season. And in conference is nothing but a battle every single game. Anyone in the ACC can beat anyone on a certain day. It's without a doubt the toughest conference in the country to play in, and that was another reason why I chose Pitt and chose to play for Randy. And those games are the most fun, the ones where anyone can win, the ones where you have to show up and play your best and play as a team all of the time. And I'm very lucky to be able to play in the ACC, and it just proves that to us, it proved that the results that we acquired this season proved to us that we can play with anyone in the country and play them to a close result. And hopefully in this coming tournament, if we didn't beat them in regular season, we can do our best to get a result against them now. But the ACC teams are just at a different level, and playing against the best girls in the country is a gift, and I'm just grateful for that.
And how have you developed as a player in this past couple of years? Where do you see yourself, with this group and this team, and what can you do going forward into this tournament to maybe help you guys get as far as you can, make a run, just shock the world?
Yeah, the teammates that the coaches have brought in for me to play with are incredible, and they've done nothing but make me better. And the way the coaches coach us and push us every single day with all types of challenges and just forcing us into uncomfortable situations and just making us the best players that we can be, have made us all great. And it's made me a different player. Especially, I know that I'm not the same player I was when I was playing in the WPIAL and the PIAA and playing in the ACC and against these teams and for these coaches is a different type of experience, and it's done nothing but make me a better player. And I hope to keep getting better every day.
Well, Sarah, I really appreciate you joining me. I know it's so much going on and there's so much excitement, but this is very exciting. And Saturday's going to be great, isn't it? It's going to be here in Pittsburgh. You get to host an NCAA tournament game.
No, yeah, it's
going to be
incredible.
very exciting.
Yes,
hopefully we'll see a packed house.
Yeah, I'm gonna text everyone I know.
I think we're trying to help you get the word out too.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, Sarah. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Congrats, Sarah.
Thank you.
Yes. Awesome. John, how are you?
Good, Randy. How are you? And congratulations.
Well,
It's finally happened.
it
But
finally,
we knew,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just take us through the emotions of today.
Well, I think we've known for a couple of weeks that, or at least you felt pretty sure we were going to be in. It would have taken a really strange committee selection not to have gotten in. So I think even though we never really talked about already being in with the team, I think they're smart girls and they know what's going on around the country as well. So I think the biggest thing was just, were we going to get a home game? And it was, who were we going to play? I kind of thought, John, between you and I thought after West Virginia beat Texas in the semifinal, I kind of thought we'd get West Virginia. So I was a
I
little
was thinking
surprised.
the same thing.
Yeah, so I was a little
And
surprised.
they got stuck with Penn State side again.
They
That seems
did.
like they play every year in the tournament.
I know. So I thought we'd get them. I was a little surprised when we got Buffalo, but Buffalo and Bucknell were two other teams I thought we could possibly get. But emotions, I guess, is just, it really hit me when I was thinking of what to say to the girls after the selections. And I think just going back 5 years, and, of course, none of these kids were here in 2018 when we took over. But that team that we inherited was just so poor, and it wasn't the players' fault. They just weren't ACC players and weren't prepared, to play at this level. And then to have kids like Amanda West and Anna Bout and Adelie Palomo and those kids come in 2019 and believe in a vision that I had and Ben, that we had as coaches, that, hey, we're going to turn this program around and we're going to become a national contender. Those kids could have gone to any program in the country just about, and yet, they gambled on us and believed in our vision. And it always comes back to me, to the players. We can have a great coaching staff. We can have great support with the administration, which we do. But at the end of the day, you got to have the players that believe in your vision and buy into it, and then commit to putting the work in. And that's what this group has done. So emotionally, it was a pretty emotional day, mainly for those juniors and seniors that's been here for a couple of years and just missed out, and last year I thought we were really, quite frankly, good enough to have been in last year. And to see the disappointment on their faces last year when we didn't get in, and now to see the excitement this year just means a whole lot. Yeah.
And now, I mean, we talked to Sarah about the schedule and playing in the ACC, and you're playing against the top teams, and you know full well what it takes to make a run deep in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
But this team, and especially overcoming some of the challenges that you've overcome, if every team suffers injuries, but to lose
Right.
some key players,
Right.
just how do you feel like, is this team ready to make a deep run?
I think this team is. And the reason I say that is based on what they've done this year and how they responded. When we lost Chloe, I think it'd be an easy argument to say she was, one of your best, if not one of your, the best midfield player we had. And, to lose her a week before your opening game, and then 6 games in to lose Amanda West, I think a lot of people wrote us off at that time, saying, well, they're not going to happen. And quite frankly, John, we didn't really ever address it in a way in front of the team about, rah, next player's got to step up and all of that. We just kind of made sure those players that got injured were taken care of emotionally and obviously physically with operations and those kinds of things. Like, you had to make sure that they were in a good place and okay, because it's devastating to them to miss out on this. But with the rest of the team, we kind of just kept moving forward. We didn't, as a staff, we didn't make a big deal out of it. We didn't come out at any one practice and say, okay, we've lost now Amanda as well. And, Sarah, you got to step up more, or Leah, you've got to, like, we never had that conversation with them. We just kept moving on as if everything was going to be fine. We never really addressed it. And I think that's the way the players took it. They took care of the players that were injured and made sure that they were doing okay. But as far as on the field, they never skipped a beat. And, what ended up happening is other players started scoring goals for us instead of just relying on Amanda all the time. And, you get several players scoring 6 or 7 goals or whatever. And, it makes up for maybe 10 or 11 or 12 goals she might score for you in a season. And, it solves some other issues that, that I don't want to get into too much X's and O's with you, but one of the early decisions we were going to have to make was, do we play Ellie Caulfield at center back? Because we played her at center back all spring because we graduated Kate McKay. And we have, Katie Zelski as a freshman this year. And when Chloe was healthy, we're thinking with a freshman center back, we probably ought to leave Caulfield at center back and Chloe in midfield. And we're going to go that way. Well, then that changes all of a sudden when Chloe gets injured. Now it's kind of like Ellie's got to step back into her normal role into midfield. And you know what? Let's throw Katie to the fire and get her ready, and then she has stepped on and done a great job for us. So sometimes those things force some coaching moves, with the injuries that you don't expect to make. And fortunately for our players, they've all kind of just stepped up. The kind of performance Leah Pace is having for us, and getting Samaya Ferry off the transfer portal, and Kira in midfield has been fantastic for us, getting her off the transfer portal. And then with Sarah having another year behind her and Landy having a year of the ACC behind her, they're just all playing better. And I think the team really believes they can go deep. And I do too. I know Buffalo is going to be a really good team, better than people are expecting them to be. They're really good up the spine from what I've seen of them, and they're athletic enough. So it's not going to be an easy game, but I think our players is something we've talked about over the last 3 weeks is no matter who we get in the NCAA tournament, it's not going to be better than us having to play Carolina Duke 3 weekends ago, and then, turn around and have to play Florida State. And then, oh, by the way, you've got to get a result with Clemson to even get into the tournament. And then, by the way, you get Notre Dame again. Like, we're not going to play anybody better than those teams. And we've been playing really well against those teams. So I think they have the belief they can go deep.
Well, I think a lot of us around here believe that too. I think we've been really impressed with everything we've seen this year and being able to take on get to that next level in the ACC. And I think that's something I just talked to Sarah about too. And I think that can those experiences can foster a belief in a team and just playing against really good competition.
Yeah.
Now you're ready to go into the great wide open and face all kinds of comers.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more. And they've been nothing short of fantastic all season. I mean, the only game we really didn't come out and play well was the Carolina game. And part of that was desperation. They'd already lost twice. They had to win, and at home, and the brand new stadium is pretty overwhelming when you haven't seen it for the first time. And then Carolina being Carolina. But other than that, we rebounded nicely against Duke, and then played Florida State to the T, and Duke and, Notre Dame a second time, and Clemson to get in. So, for a team that really hasn't had any playoff experience, it was kind of nice in some regards to get Clemson in a game that meant everything for the ACC was on the line, because it kind of gave us, even though it was a regular season game, playoff implications. And we needed that before we jumped right into the NCAAs, because when it's the first time, sometimes you just don't know what to expect when it gets into it's a knockout now, and the stakes change when you get into it. So I think having the Clemson game to get us in, and then going in another playoff game against Notre Dame, and even though we lost in penalties, we still got the result. We got the tie on the road. I think those 2 games were really, really beneficial to us to get us ready for this game against Buffalo.
Absolutely. I think you guys are ready to go. I think it's going to be exciting, and you play it, you never know. It's a knockout tournament, and you just go one at a time. And I think everybody here in Pittsburgh, I think we're just super, super excited now to see women's soccer at such a high level, to have the city behind. I think you'll get the whole city. I think a lot of people are going to get really excited about this.
Well, good. Thank you. And thank you guys for believing in us and being there supporting us. I know it's not easy changing, 20 plus years of losing, but I think we've got a great staff, and we've got great support here. with the administration. The men's team supports us in a fantastic way. So you guys out in the community have been great. You know, before the Clemson game, there's about 2 minutes before kickoff, and all the fans are piling in. And I can remember just leaning over, telling Ben and Dustin, I said, hey, guys, regardless of what happens tonight, just take a minute and soak this in. I said, when we got here in 2018, there was about 5 or 10 people in the stands. There was a couple of parents, and most of them was A. Dean O'Donoghue's family, I think, you know, and
Yeah.
that's all that was in the stands. And I said, look at this now, you know, who would have thought 5 short years ago we'd be packing the house and in a playoff environment. And so the city has been really good to us too. So we appreciate all the fans and all the local clubs and high schools that support us as well.
Well, Randy, thank you so much for your time today. I know it's a whirlwind. There's a lot going on, and you took time out to sit and do an interview with me. I really appreciate it. And you've always been gracious with your time, so I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, John. I appreciate you having me. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Randy. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. I'll send you the recording here in a couple minutes.
Sounds great. Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate it,
Awesome.
Mike.
Thanks so
All right.
much.
All right. Take care.
Bye.